guys, welcome to something a little different. We're going to be playing Broken Sword, Shadow of the Templars, the director's cut, and we're just going to get straight on with it. I'm going to have my head down for these first few cutscenes because I don't really like clowns or mime artists, but you guys enjoy them, and I will catch you after the first cutscene, so see you soon.
Paris, city of love, romance and dreams. So they say. I used to say it too, but ever since that day, the day of the murder, I've always associated my beloved Paris with death. I was at home having a bath when my editor called.
Collard, get your ass over to the Palais Royal now. You got an interview. With Pierre Carchon. Yes, the Pierre Carchon. No photos, so leave your gear at home. He asked for you personally. Don't ask me why. Anyhow, this could be big, so if he makes a pass, don't forget. Just smile, say yes, and keep taking notes.
So charming and so very apt. Pierre Carchon was a media king, a national hero, and one of the most infamous adulterers in Europe. He and his wife Imelda were just one step down from royalty. Whoa, I hate mimes, but unless you humor them, they don't go away. Here I was, the palace of the Media King and the Ice Queen. I pressed the doorbell and set in motion a chain of events which would change my life forever.
Yes? What is it?
Madame, my name is Nico Collard. I'm here to see Monsieur Carchon.
Come up, we're on the first floor.
Madame Carchon, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Yes, I'm sure.
The Ice Queen was certainly living up to her reputation. Will you be staying for the interview?
Mademoiselle, I know little of my husband's business affairs, and I care even less. I certainly have no intention of watching him pore over yet another pretty little journalist.
Pretty? You're too kind, madame.
Ah, the talented and very beautiful Mademoiselle Collard. Such a pleasure to meet you at last.
Monsieur Carchon, I am honored.
Oh, I'm sure you are.
Call me Pierre, please. But I do not flatter you idly. I was a friend of your father. He was a great man.
My father? He never mentioned.
He and I were very close. And then his death. So tragic. I must... Imelda, your damned cat's in my study again. Another Ming vase, I suppose. Excuse me for one moment, my dear girl.
You journalists are getting younger each year.
Perhaps it's the rest of the world getting older, madame. That was no cat. My God! What? Monsieur Carchon!
He's dead. I must call the police. You'd better stay here.
There was a man. It was the mime. Do you think he...
Well, I believe we can rule out suicide, don't you?
No wonder they called her the Ice Queen. She would have been top of my list of suspects if I hadn't seen the attacker myself. And if I hadn't come across a couple of murders just like this already. One of the most important men in Europe murdered. And here was I, Nico Collard, alone at the scene of the crime. Should I wait for the cops? Or start my own investigation? It was a no-brainer.
Okay, so obviously most of you are aware of what Broken Sword is. It's a point-and-click adventure, so I'll just read this quickly. Move the mouse pointer around the screen to discover areas of interest, which will be indicated by an animating blue circle. When the pointer passes over an object with which you can interact, it will change to an animating icon reflecting the available action. Press the left mouse button to perform that action. Click on the briefcase icon to open your inventory and display the objects you are carrying. Diary icon to access the diary, question mark to get puzzle hints and interface help, and the spanner icon to save and restore a game and adjust settings. These icons can be found in the lower section of the screen. Fantastic. Right. There is one thing I think we need to do, so we'll just... there are no subtitles. What's that all about? Subtitles, yes. Speech, yes. Anglais, indeed. Okay, back. And in the director's cut, you start off as Nico Collard, the journalist who eventually meets George Stobbart at the cafe. So let's just investigate this dead guy here. You don't look too well, dude.
Mimes and guns don't usually go together, but I had an idea that this was no ordinary mime. I'd come across this murderer before, and written about him. The costume killer, at least that's what I'd called him.
And I think the first thing we're going to do is pick up this hairpin.
It was one of my hair clips. My favourite, in fact. It must have fallen when I was knocked down.
Quite a useful thing.
Some people hate searching corpses for clues. Me, I'm okay with it. Reminds me of an old boyfriend. In his pocket, I found a ticket stamped Bateau de la Conciergerie. Taking the ticket meant I tampered with the evidence. There was no going back now.
Well, that you were just going to wait for the old bill, were you?
Carchon had been shot.
Really? Oh, God.
I closed his eyes. It was the least I could do for the poor fellow.
And if you right-click, I think it does the secondary action up in the little corner.
I had closed his eyes. Rigor mortis hadn't set in yet.
Okay, yeah, so that'll do the secondary thing. And I think we can come away from here now. Let's have a look at his books.
The bookcase was filled with obscure first editions.
Check out the hole in the glass.
A small round piece of glass had been cut out of the pane. This was a professional job. A bust of Pierre Carchon, humble servant of La France.
Okay, can we do anything here?
Your original 18th century high security window handle. The killer must have used a ladder to reach the window. He was long gone. Guess he folded that ladder up, popped it in his pocket and took it with him.
It's a very good point. Where did that ladder go?
Pierre Carchon again. His eyes seemed to follow me around the room.
Creepy.
The police could turn up at any minute. Somewhere there were clues to the murder, and I needed to find them.
It's a good thing you left your gear at home then, isn't it? Let's go speak to the lady. Although there may be some clues. Oh no, she's on the phone. Okay, well we'll go check these bits and pieces.
I reckoned that cloth might just turn out to be useful.
Yeah? Okay, and what about... Can we do this yet? Use an inventory item on background object. Click on that item and hold the mouse button. I don't know why I'm singing that. While continuing to hold the mouse button, drag the item over a hotspot and release it when it highlights with a gold outline. Back. So let's see if we can do this now.
Aha!
There we
Nico,
go.
you are just so damn good at this stuff.
Indeed you
Instead of comforting Imelda, I was ransacking her flat. Why? Because there was something going on here, and I had to get answers before the cops arrived. And hey, she'd been rude to me, so she had it coming.
Alright. No need for all the cognitive dissonance going on. Can we close this back up? No? Alright, well... Hey, there we go.
A magnificent antique table.
Very cool.
A medieval pageant. Original, no doubt. The tapestry must have cost a fortune. Imelda had talent, but I certainly wasn't going to tell her that.
I think we can get her off the phone.
It was a tube of acrylic paint. French ultramarine.
Space
Just the colour
Marines!
I was after for my bathroom.
I'm sorry, I have to go. Someone is...
Young lady, what are you doing? Oh, this paint. It's my favorite color.
For God's sake, keep the damn stuff.
Cheers. How you doing? Okay. Wait, we should look at her first. But I've already engaged in the talkie action.
Excuse me, madame.
Yes?
Oh God. Alright, well, we'll do...
I am so sorry for your loss, madame.
No, you're not. You're a journalist. Journalists don't feel sorry.
Not true.
We shall see.
Why did your husband send for me? What did he want to discuss?
I have no idea. His business was his business.
He never told you anything.
No, and frankly, I preferred it that way.
I just took all his money! Ha ha ha!
How did your husband know my father?
I have no idea.
You didn't know him? Nico Collard?
Pierre knew a lot of people I didn't know, most of them women.
Why would a mime want to kill your husband?
Pierre had plenty of enemies. Half the husbands in Paris for a start. This is quite a scoop for you. I suppose you're already inventing the headlines.
Just because I am a journalist.
Don't patronize me. You're all cut from the same cloth. Do you have any moral sense at all?
Yeah,
Yes.
why not?
That's why I do this job.
You do it to see your name in print.
As if. My editor gets the byline, I just do the work.
Well, don't expect my sympathy.
The police will be here soon, madame. Is there anybody you would like me to contact? Family, friends?
No, I have no family. Pierre and I were... He was all I had, really. Not much, was it? The dutiful wife. That was my role. He never talked, never let me in.
I know one thing, madame.
What?
If you want to find out who killed your husband, then you let me do the job, not the police.
Why? How do I know I can trust you?
Your husband invited me here today because he needed me. I think he knew somebody wanted to kill him, and he knew I could help.
I doubt it was your database he was after.
You're wrong. I was onto his killers already, I am sure of it. Please, you owe it to him.
I don't know.
All I need is a few more minutes to look around before the police come.
You really do have a moral sense, don't you? I trust so few people. And perhaps Pierre really did think that you could help. Of course it wouldn't have stopped him seducing you too. Here, take this. It's the key to the drawing room next to the library at the end of the hall. It was Pierre's room. I rarely went in there. I couldn't. I was too scared of what I might find.
To the drawing room!
Thank you. I promise you won't regret this.
Can I call anyone?
Even the telephone was antique. Never trust anyone who owns a phone like that. There was no one I needed to phone. Not until I had solved this case.
And we'll just look at her quickly.
Imelda now looks shocked and scared. Almost human, in fact.
Okay, and if we try to go out, she's like, no. I got things to do, can't leave yet. So we will hop along to the old drawing room. Oh.
Now we were getting somewhere.
Yes, the drawing room. Congratulations. Right. Let's have a quick look at this.
The painting showed the Cachons together, in love. As the poet said, the past is a different country. Or did I read that in a fortune cookie?
Well.
The painting was attached firmly to the wall.
Ah, but the frame isn't,
The
is it?
Cachons. Noblesse oblige.
I apologise if you can hear my neighbour's dog.
Aha! There was a small button hidden in the picture frame. There was the very faintest of clicks.
There we go. We have
Behind
uncovered
the picture was a safe.
a safe. Right, now I think this goes in here. Yeah. I'm sure there was a number combination there as well. What's going on?
In the
Let's take
safe
this.
was some kind of artifact. There were strange symbols on its surface. It looked like the printer's blocks I'd made at art school. If there was one thing I'd learned about symbols, they are always important. But these symbols scratched into stone were impossible to read. I needed to find a way of printing them. At least the stone was round. But what could I use for ink? And what could I print on? Sure, I was stealing, but I knew Imelda didn't know about the artifact, and Cachon was past caring.
Right. Okay.
The sofa was antique. For one horrible moment, I had an image of a naked Cachon wriggling around on it with a young journalist. Oh,
Thanks for that.
this wasn't the time for me to lie on the sofa doing my Marie Antoinette impression. Though it is very popular at parties, especially with gay guys. Don't ask me why.
Okay, just this then, I guess. Oh, does this highlight the table? Cool.
As expected, the desk was yet another priceless antique. Yawn. The blotter and in tray had clearly been placed with mathematical precision.